Hey everybody, welcome to Funniest People You've Never Heard of. I'm Peter, your host. This is Todd, producer.
Hey everyone.
Todd's in from the outfield. You can see his face right here. Today, sitting in that chair is Dean Delray. He's the opening act for Bill Burr. He's absolutely hilarious and has performed at huge venues in the last 12 months. He's done Red Rocks, Hollywood Bowl, Madison Square Garden, and this to date is the most lively random episode ever.
It got wild. We love it. We love it. We love to stay on our toes.
In the middle of one of Dean's best stories about being on set with Quentin Tarantino, fire alarm goes off. Nothing we could do. Also,
there was no fire.
Yeah, no fire.
Just
Everyone's okay.
Delinquents in the neighborhood, we think.
But also, a surprise guest, Gertie, Dean Delray's dog, is in the building. So that's great.
She stole the show, as you'd expect.
Definitely a very interesting, fun person. What'd you think, Todd?
Yeah, I mean, I think my one takeaway was that he started out in music, did some acting, got into comedy. He's trying to sell documentaries about himself. He's doing his special. You know, that's like a lesson in entertainment.
Yeah.
Keep yourself open to all opportunities and they'll present themselves and you got to be ready for them. And he clearly is, and he's killing it.
This is a great episode. I'm really excited for you to get to know Dean Delray. He's one of the funniest people you've never heard of. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Funniest People Pod and like and subscribe on YouTube. All right, let's take a caller.
Peter, we're not live. What does she want?
Hey, Grandma.
Petey, are you there?
Yeah, Grandma, is everything okay?
Just making sure you've been drinking your tequila especial.
Yes, Grandma. 2 shots in the morning to wake up, 2 shots at night to go to bed.
And a cocktail in between to take the edge off.
Don't worry, I never skip lunch. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm recording a podcast right now.
What's a podcast?
Oh, Grandma. Gosh.
She seems lovely. To pick up a bottle yourself, go to tequilaespecial.com or call Peter's grandma.
And hey, let's get into the show. What do you think?
Let's do it.
This is me and Dean Delray, Todd from the outfield.
And Gertrude.
Welcome to Funniest People Pod, Funniest People You've Never Heard of. Today, our guest is Dean Delray. Dean, how you doing today?
What's going on, buddy?
Not too much, dude. You are getting ready to record a special. I want to mention that up top because it's coming up September 8th. What can you tell the people about it?
Doing it at this place called the Caverns. It's about an hour outside of Nashville. It's in between Chattanooga and Nashville.
Oh.
So I have no idea what the audience is going to be like.
Okay.
I mean, I it's in a cave. We're doing it inside this cave called the Caverns, and it holds 850. It holds 1,000, but cameras in there are 850, and it's an actual cave where they do concerts for like the last 12 years. And this guy Todd Mayo found the cavern and created this concert venue. It's basically like Red Rocks underground.
Wow. And where can people find tickets for that?
Thecaverns.com or DeanDelray.com.
Perfect. Now, it's a real cavern because when I know you're a music guy, music historian, in fact, and when I hear cavern, I think of Cavern Club, like on Matthew Street in Liverpool where the Beatles came up. But this is really underground and like, is it going to be echoey?
Well, I'm rolling the dice here.
That is awesome, dude.
Yeah, nothing better than spending a lot of money and not knowing never performing in there, nothing. But I will tell you this, I did a lot of research on it, obviously, and they say that it has some of the best acoustics ever. It sounds like a recording studio, they say.
Wow, yeah.
And all the bands that play there say it's unreal. And the wild thing about this venue is when you see it, you just go, where the fuck is that? And how are people not talking about that? Because it's been around like 12 years, and I am blown away that more people do not talk about this venue. The very first gig there ever was Chris Stapleton.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, he kicked it off.
Now, you don't just perform in, caverns, swamps, and dwellings. You also, in the last 12 months, you've actually performed at some of the biggest venues in all of North America, Madison Square Garden, the Hollywood Bowl, Red Rocks, etc. Now, what goes into performing in a big venue like that? How does your pacing change up? And yeah, I guess how did you kind of get to this point?
Well, I got pretty lucky because when I started comedy, I met Bill Burr when I was like the first year in, and he wasn't the mighty Bill Burr that we all know of now. And we became very good friends, bonding over music and mostly being around the same age. You know, when I started at 44 years old, I'm at the Comedy Store. People are like, who's this old fucking dude?
Yeah, man.
And, you know, there's Burr and Maron's down there at the time, and Sebastian. They're all older guys, but they'd been in the game for 20, 30 years. Bill, 32 years. So I was very lucky to have these great friends my age. And as I started to get better and work more, they started to get bigger. And I was lucky enough to do these incredible tours with Bill as his career started to launch, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was learning to do these venues at the same time I think he was, the big ones.
Wow.
You know, of course he had done guest spots and stuff like on charity gigs like the Garden and stuff, but it's not an animal where you get to go practice.
Right.
Because you're in a club all your life or open mics and maybe some theaters. But once you get into a big, big venue, it's a different animal. But I will say this. Somebody gave me a tip on the first arena I ever did. They said, go slow.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're going to be stomping on your laughs. Because really what you're hearing is the laughs from the first 20 rows.
Oh my God, yeah.
But that starts to swell into the arena, and you just kind of sit in it and take your time. So your pacing's it's a little slower, and you got to really just be comfortable in it.
You know, obviously it's good advice to slow things down in that bigger environment, but that doesn't mean that in the moment you're playing to however many thousand people, the adrenaline's pumping. Were you able to actually follow that advice, or did you find that difficult to, in the moment, slow yourself down?
Well, I'm going to tell you the honest truth right now. I've done about 100 arenas, and to me, they just feel like where I should be.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, my crowd isn't arena, but my performance and comfort level is definitely an arena. I just feel great in an arena.
Yeah.
Because I mostly feel great because I know they are there for the show. And most of the time with Bill, the phones are in bags. So the level of you know, the people are so tuned in that they're engaged like it's the 70s. There's no phone in their hand. They're watching the performance. You could do callbacks. They laugh like fucking crazy because they heard the original premise that you're calling back.
Yeah.
So I my comfort level is 100 in an arena.
Yeah.
And I do think it's a little easier than a club, I think, because
Really?
the people are there. There's no drink orders. There's no papered room in an arena. There's not a bachelorette party coming in.
Right.
You know, there's not some random radio winners that I don't know who this is, but let's go. It is Bill Burr fans or whoever I might have been opening for in those big venues. And it has taught me a lot of, you know, just completely being engaged in the moment. A grown man back there texting in the back. I can see you, dude. I'm not a hologram. He's fucking deep into his text. Yeah, man, and then my team lost. Still nothing. Look at him back there, just fucking asshole. Addicted to the phone, man. That's a sad addiction. I miss an old school addiction, one you'd suck a dick for. That's a fucking, right? That's a true addiction. It's like, addicted to the phone. That's gross, right? Dude, I need your charger. All right. Get on it, dude. texters over there. Texter Island over there. Getting a beer? Oh, is that how you order here? Oh, fuck. Sorry, I trashed you. Put your phone down, you fuck faces! I'm just trying to get a beer, man. You're funny as fuck, sorry, man. Oh, I feel all right. That's it for me today.
For comedy nerds and like comedians listening, I want to ask you this question. I believe every room has a rhythm, and that rhythm is dependent on the factors you're talking about. The space, how tall the ceiling is, how many people are there people standing, are there people sitting? If the room was papered, like you said, meaning like all these tickets are free, these people have nothing to do at 10 o'clock on a Friday, right?
Yeah. They have no idea who you are.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. All those things go into the rhythm, and maybe you can add to also what creates that rhythm. How quickly at this stage are you able to identify what the rhythm of the room is, meaning like what will dictate your pace, and how did you come to discover that for each room?
Well, I would say there's a thing called keep the throttle down.
Yeah.
The gas pedal down. It's like there's those rooms where you could tell if you let off on the pacing a little bit, you're going to get the guy that's like, "Rah, rah, rah," or you're going to get, they're just not paying attention or whatever. So I think what you get really good at, because I'm almost at 6,000 sets now, is you figure out the rhythm in the first 2 or 3 jokes.
Okay.
You put the first one out. If it hits, bam, you're like, these guys are on.
Yeah.
If it doesn't hit, you keep your confidence like, that one didn't work. Something else is going to get them here. And you just kind of start going. Now, if it's awful, you tend to you tend to speed up, and that's the death of you, because then they sense the fear in you. Yeah. You're just steamrolling through your time, and it's going to be awful.
Yeah, you're almost like, the way you're describing it feels like you're a pitcher in an at-bat. It's like, all right, he didn't bite at this off-speed pitch outside. I've got to try something else. Got to speed up, maybe go to the fastball. I've done myself and heard of other comedians like moving their closer up top, right, just to get them, that's in like a hostile environment, right? You got to get them there.
Last night I did the belly room. I ran an hour. Mm-hmm. There was 37 people. Okay. And it was just, for the first 18 minutes, it was awful.
Really?
And I was like, because...
And this is, by the way, this is the belly room at the Comedy Store. Maybe if they're standing, like maximum, you could maybe fit 60 people in that room. I don't know anymore.
They say 80, I think.
Oh, wow, okay.
But right. And at one point I was like, God, I wish I could just go home right now.
18 minutes in?
18 minutes in. I just listened to the set while I was hiking today, and I was like, it was god awful. And then I just started. It's funny because you hit a pocket of some jokes and then they're on, and you're like, oh, well, this crowd just wasn't into the first block of the 1 hour set.
Okay.
And you have to believe in yourself of like, hey, I've been doing this 15 years. I've done this shit right here for the last year and a half. It kills. It might not be for me tonight. Or there's got to be something in here that's going to get him. And eventually I got him. And from 18 minutes out, it was good. And I was commenting at like, it was awful the first 20 minutes. Was it me or you guys? I'm just asking them straight up.
Yeah. Did something happen? Did you all ride here in the same car and somebody pissed someone else off?
But you know what it is? It's like 2 guys are from London. They're like, judging you like American comedy's crop, And then you got some dudes over here that are way too high on edibles. They're just staring at me, Then you got some newer couples that might be their first date, and the girl's looking at the guy like, you're not laughing at that stuff, are you?
Oh, that's terrible.
But that's the fierce feelings of a small 20, 30 people crowd.
Yeah.
They're just right there staring at you.
And you can read all their faces. Like,
Oh,
you can read all their faces. You can see all their faces. And, sometimes they're a little too well lit for not being on the stage.
That's a fucking another thing. This room was kind of lit up last night. Now, I like it a little dark, but I like to be able to see the people.
Right.
So I think that situation is a small crowd for me is way harder. Like I sometimes still go do open mics.
Sure. Oh,
just,
wow.
You know, just to go feel that energy, which is always like 50 comics sitting there like, this guy's not funny. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
funnier
better
than
than
this
him.
guy, that kind of shit. That energy is ridiculous.
There's nothing like going into a room or getting on stage rather, and everyone's either literally or proverbially got their arms crossed.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, come on, guys. You don't have to be here.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm happy you're here, but like, come on, let's all enjoy this together, please.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So,
And-
you know, there's just a lot of dynamics to an audience. You never know what you're going to get. Last week, I was in Minneapolis at Acme, headlined 6 shows. I would say some of the best shows I've ever done.
Great.
Yeah, and then a week later, here I am just eating a dick in my home club. Just eating it like I've never even done comedy. And, you know, just trying to find something.
I was there the day that I was in the same show that
yeah.
you like ate a bug on stage.
Yeah.
A bug just like flew into your mouth and you were in the middle of this joke.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fuck. I think I just ate a bug.
Yeah.
I know that's not popular. Oh, I just ate a bug. Actually ate a bug. Actually ate a bug. Full set. Just went in my throat. Here, let me wash that down. Whatever fucking bug that was in Flappers. You thought COVID was bad. Oh. I hope it wasn't a fly. Holy shit. How do you even carry on from that? Did you guys see it? Just went right in my throat.
Well, okay, so like, you know, there's dealing with hecklers and there's, you know, there's some preparation you have. And after, you know, doing or approaching 6,000 sets as you have, you've kind of encountered everything. I can't imagine any comedian in the world preparing for that and like what went through your head and also like what happened that day.
Well, there once in a while there's like gnats that fly around the lights in clubs.
Yeah.
The store gets them.
Right.
Flappers had it, you know.
Sure.
And it was stuck in my throat. I go, man, I just fucking swallowed a bug.
Yes.
And I had to address it because I knew the people in the front saw it because it was flying around like this. And then it just went in my throat.
Yeah.
The greatest thing about that, this is what this is the internet and how shitty people are. This is the epitome of shit people. Some guy goes, what a fucking hack. He obviously didn't swallow a bug. He thought it was like an act.
Like it was a bit that you had
Like it was a
planned?
bit I do when I'm on stage. And I was like, this fucking guy, man. I wish there was a button where you could just push when people comment and then they're in your living room like, what'd you say? And they'd be like, oh, just kidding. It fucking, but yeah, man, it went
dude,
in my
that's
throat
insane.
and I was just, and then I was riffing on it and it was killing.
It was great.
It was killing. Somebody told me when you go up there, don't be a fucking robot. Yeah. Don't just start with your material. You know, because it's the equivalent of walking up to somebody at a party and going, hey, what's going on? I'm Dean Delray. Yeah, I'm single. I ride a motorcycle. I don't drink anymore. And I got a dog named Gertie. And the person would just be like, oh, who the fuck is this?
That's like, is this speed dating? Like, what
that's
are you
what
trying
it's like.
Yeah.
People just get up there. They're terrified to engage with the audience.
Right.
I try to keep the engagement once the show's rolling. I try to keep it, let's just go with the show. Now, if the show is not going good, I'm going to address it. We have to address the elephant in the room. And then a lot of times that'll bust the room open.
Yeah.
You know, like last night, 15 minutes in, I go, this is going awful. And I just brought it up, you know, and you have to have fun. Yeah. You have to be in it, or else you're going to look like an AI robot, you know?
Yeah,
just up there telling you. If you're not digging it, they're going to know.
Yeah, that's a good reminder. Remember to be human up there.
Yeah, right.
You've got all this material to present, be human. So, you know, you're talking about, you know, advice you'd gotten starting out. So, dude, what took you so long? You started comedy at 44.
Well, I wanted to do comedy when I was a kid. I grew up at the Saturday Night Live first wave, which was Garrett Morris and John Belushi, who's a favorite of mine, and Bill Murray. And I loved Cheech and Chong and Pryor and Carlin. But I didn't, there was no kids doing comedy. There was no comedy camps. Now you can just go to a camp.
Sure.
You can watch YouTube videos. You can perform at like safe spaces, like, you know, you sign up for classes and do them. So another thing I loved was music. So I started playing music with neighborhood kids, and then 25 years went by playing music. So what's going on, Gertie?
Gertie's here. This is
my dog Gertie's here.
Dean's dog. I think he was just snoring.
Yeah.
I do love Gertie, but you know, as a musician in San Francisco, you were in a ton of bands.
Yeah.
Too, right? And you know, what was the sound? Was the sound like Metallica or
No,
what were you trying to do?
First band was kind of it was metal, like Accept, Judas Priest. And then my next band was kind of like Aerosmith, like rock and roll.
Yeah.
And then by the time I get a record deal, Dean Delray solo, I was heavily into alt country, Wilco, Sun Volt, Tom Petty Wildflowers record, Mother Hips, that kind of music. And then that's the stuff I've loved pretty much the rest of my life, just, you know.
Yeah, man. And so at 44, you're like, you know, what was the first open mic, and then what was the first big show, like the big audition?
No, I was living in LA. Here's what happened. I quit music, and after 25 years, and I started working at Harley Davidson. Okay? One day, Tarantino comes on the lot with his people, and he goes, I'm shooting a biker film. I was wondering if you could be an advisor on the film. I go, fuck yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So I'm helping advise on the film, the motorcycles, the outfits and everything. It's got Dennis Hopper, Michael Madsen. So in the middle of advising, they asked if I want to do a role in the film. And I go, yeah. And so I land a role in the film.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
This is some real Hollywood stuff.
This is,
right?
Let me just tell you something. I've been talking about it lately with people. It's like, I can't even believe my life. And I try to pitch like documentaries to like Judd Apatow. So I'm like, dude, let's do a documentary on my life. It's crazy. And like, oh, yeah. People just act like this shit is normal. But the fucking...
No! Whoa. Fire alarm. All right, and we're back after a fire scare. There was a fire alarm pulled. We don't know if if it was some teenagers or,
Welcome to LA.
Some pranksters. Right now, you know, you just get old. You're like, these fucking kids, man. And then I just see myself pulling it in like 1978.
Fuck you.
Let's just, on my BMX bike, pull the fire alarm, and then riding down Cahuenga laughing. Those fucking dicks.
Should show them for recording a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh man, we were talking earlier about what you can and can't prepare for. I, for some reason, never thought of a fire alarm.
That's it. And how awful. They picked the perfect awful sound for a fire alarm.
Yeah.
It's just that there's a weird squeal in there. Oh my God. Look at Gertie. She hated it.
It's the sound of, Gertie even hates your replication of it.
Yeah, right. She's just like, fuck that.
Well, yeah, let's commit to getting back to it, the story that you were telling. And so, to catch people back up, you're working for Harley Davidson. You had put music to the side. Tarantino comes in. what a Hollywood story. You're just, living, by the way, the coolest life at this stage.
And then I get on the film.
Yeah, so did Tarantino say like, all right, we want you to be in this film?
Well, they said, hey, we think we got a role for you. Will you come in and audition? Okay. And I go, oh, fuck yeah. I played this role of this guy ape shit.
Nice.
And I remember at the time, I was like, ape shit, man. Fuck. Everywhere I'm going to go, I'm going to be like Turtle from Entourage. They're going to call me ape shit. They're going to call me ape shit. I'm going to be at the fucking supermarket. Hey, ape shit.
Yeah.
And then no one saw the film, right? And I'm like, somebody call me ape shit, please. You know what I mean? I'm begging, call me ape shit.
Yeah.
I'll tell you an amazing thing, man. I remember when I was around 25, and this is the power of, they say, will what you want,
Yeah.
I broke up with a girlfriend, or she broke up with me, and I go, well, I'm moving to LA, and I'm going to be in a Tarantino film.
No shit.
Yeah. And she's like,
What?
oh, okay. And then like years later, I was in one.
Yes.
And I'm on the poster, which is fucking cool. I'm on the poster.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think in one way or another, everyone has a moment like that, whether they acknowledge it or not, but like a moment where you kind of like have to plant your flag and like define yourself. Like I was living in Orlando, and this girl I was dating at the time, I was like, I'm moving to Hollywood. And I was just so naive. I was 23. And I was like, I'm moving to Hollywood. I could be on TV right now. And she goes, well, I never thought of myself as a girl that would live in Los Angeles. And I go, oh, you're not coming with me. This is the start of the slow breakup. So you're ape shit, and then you're not ape shit. But then, what led into, stand up?
Here's what happens. From Hell Ride, I land a role in a Ice Cube movie.
Damn.
Yeah, called The Long Shots. It's a football movie. It's a story about the first girl ever to play Pop Warner football.
Whoa.
Stars this great actress, Keke Palmer. She's a huge star now. And I land that movie, and in that movie, there's 3 comedians, and this is full circle for me now. Garrett Morris from SNL. Mm-hmm. Now I'm like, holy shit. I wanted to do comedy because of Garrett Morris, and John Belushi, and those guys.
News for people hard of hearing. Right? That was Garrett Morris's like SNL Weekend Update.
He said, go.
Dude, such a genius bit.
And Ant-Man. I'm Ant-Man. I can lift 100,000 times. Never heard of you. That shit is great.
I love that sketch. That sketch was great. But his Weekend Update, bits, incredible. So this movie,
he's in the film. Michael Collier, another comedian. Earthquake.
Earthquake is in it.
So one day I'm riding a golf cart to the set with Earthquake. We don't know each other at all. I go, what do you do? Yeah. And he's like, I'm a comedian. I'm like, oh fuck, I've never heard of you. I go to comedy all the time.
Yeah.
That's when I first moved to LA. I was going to see comedy and music all the time.
That's what you do. You're like, oh my God, this is the epicenter. This is where artists come.
Yeah.
Right?
You're out every night. You're fucking in it. But so I do that movie, and when I'm doing the Ice Cube film, I talk to Earthquake like all day. We were in the bleachers doing the riffing on the people, like, looks like that girl got it in the nuts. There's like you're just shooting lines out.
Yeah.
And one day I tell those guys I want to do comedy, and they're like, man, you're too old.
No shit.
Yeah, and they're laughing, right? But after a couple weeks, Earthquake pulled me aside and goes, hey, man, you're pretty funny. Go try comedy, man, when you get home. And I go, what do you do? And he's like, just find an open mic and go do it. And I didn't even know how to write jokes. I thought you just go up there and just talk each night.
Well,
when I'd see guys doing the same shit every night, I go, man, when I'm doing it, I'm just going to tell fucking new shit every day. And then you get up there and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So I got home and I started comedy, man. And that was 14,
about 15 years,
it's 15 years
ago,
December 6th coming up.
Wow.
I did the Improv, and I went to the Comedy Store 2 days later.
Yeah.
Did some bringer show in the Belly Room, bombed atrociously. Oof. Yeah, and then just never stopped. I did 298 shows the first year.
Wow.
I did 560 the second year.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel right here, man.
Yeah. So then, yeah, man, big journey that you've had. You're recording this big special September 8th. And then where do you go from there? What's the next, couple of years look like for you?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's every day of this comedy journey, I have no idea. I get up each day, I pound on doors, I send emails, I record podcasts, Let There Be Talk, check it out, 12 and a half years. I don't know. I tell people if it all went away tomorrow, I'd be like, that was the greatest 15 years of my life, deep in my life, in most people's eyes, where they're maybe going through a third divorce and bankruptcy and shit.
Right.
I got to places I got to do that I didn't get to do as a musician, the Garden, the LA Forum. So I don't really think about what's next except for tonight, getting on stage, trying to write bits, man. It's fucking tough. Every day it's hard, Even when I talk to comics above me and they're like, fuck, it's hard, It's hard, man. There's thousands of comics out there.
Yeah.
You got to make your clips. You got to fucking do your crowd work. Oh, no, crowd work's out now. Now you got to fucking do that,
Wouldn't have it any other way though, right, man?
No, not at all.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
The last bit that I want to talk to you about, and this is fun for the audience as well, is there somebody, this is funniest people you've never heard of. Is there a comedian you think we should have on the show, and what could you say about him?
Well, I don't think he's unknown, but I think he's absolutely funny. As a Comedy Store paid regular for years, Kevin Christie.
Kevin Christie, okay.
Yeah, this guy's got a great story. He's done 90 commercials.
No kidding.
And he is a very funny comedian, and he is one of the best people I've ever met in LA.
Nice. Well, hey, that's what an endorsement. All right, well, if we have Kevin on, we'll make sure we play that clip for him.
Yeah.
Dean, thank you so much for coming out.
Bud.
Really
Gertrude,
appreciate
thank
it.
you for coming out.
Yeah,
Gertie, thanks for making a quick appearance here. Thanks for rocking with us through the fire alarm. And thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time. Funniest People You've Never Heard Of is a production of Toby or Not Toby Productions. Executive producer, Todd Fields. Producer and host, Peter Murphy. Studio space provided by Third Wheel. Theme song written and performed by Justin Fields. Sponsored by Tequila Especial. Don't forget to like and subscribe.